What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fourth and Goal Sports Show. I'm your host, Tyrus Filson. And today, for our Ravens Commanders preview, I'm joined by a good friend, Jauron Patton. And we're going to be previewing this amazing matchup that's coming up. I personally think this is going to be one of the games of the year for the NFL this season. Commanders coming in hot, 4-1 right now. 4-1 for the first time since 2008. If I'm not mistaken. And the Ravens, big win over Cincinnati. I thought that game was lost. Lamar Jackson proved me wrong. Big game here. And Jauron, I'm going to let you start it off.
I mean, I like you got Washington. They're on a hot streak. I mean, I personally like Jayden Daniels. The guy doesn't have the best wide receiver room. He's got Zacchaeus as one of his targets aside from McLaurin. And he's out here 4-1. I mean, he's balling. So, I mean, the Ravens can't make mistakes like they did against the Bengals. They got to score. Secondary's been real questionable. They got to be a lot better. And another thing is, can the Commanders stop the run offense? I mean, Lamar's highest rushing QB right now, and Derrick Henry's leading in rushing yards for running back. So, it's a matter of fact, if they can stop that, or can the Ravens stop the pass offense? That's the biggest factor for me.
I think that, I think that the Ravens, their key to victory in this game is probably going to be rushing the football, because one thing that Washington's defense has struggled at is rushing the football. I mean, we've pretty much struggled with our secondary and stopping the run. Those are two big keys. But as of recent, these past 2 weeks, Washington's defense has played pretty solid. You know what I'm saying? We've held the Cardinals to 14 points, and, we held the Browns to 13. So we've been balling these past 2 weeks, but at the same time, those 2 weeks, we didn't face Lamar Jackson. We didn't face Derrick Henry. So I got to give respect to them. They're going to do what they do.
Yeah, them guys are different. I mean,
sure.
Another thing with their cornerback room, Washington's cornerback room is questionable. I mean, Emmanuel Forbes, questionable. And, St. Just
group, for sure.
Yeah, very questionable. So, I mean, you already see me repping Zay. Are they going to be able to guard him and lock him down? That's another thing. It's just very dynamic offense the Ravens have, and very dynamic offense Washington's got. So, I'm excited to see it. Could definitely be game of the year, for sure. Game of the week.
And the point you just made just now, as far as the Ravens offense is elite, the Washington's offense through 5 weeks, I mean, we looking elite too. So I would say right now, Ravens offense balling out, Washington's offense balling out. This could be one of those games that is very high scoring, and I could see it being a back-to-back matchup between Jayden Daniels and Lamar Jackson. We could be seeing a battle for sure, because y'all, as bad as our defense has been in our secondary, they've been playing well these past few weeks. Like I said, they've held our opponents less than 15 points. Now, I don't expect us to do that this game, of course, but what I'm saying is this. If you compare the last few weeks, what defense has played better, Washington or Baltimore, I'm taking Washington's defense. So if it turns into both the defenses aren't playing too well, but you just need that one little stop, that one little play to give the offense the ball back, I'm confident that Washington's defense can do that. It's going to be difficult because we're playing a two-time MVP and we're playing Derrick Henry, of course. But if you want to turn this into our defense can't stop Baltimore, your defense can't stop our offense, I promise you, with full confidence, Washington's going to win this game. Because here's the thing. When I think that's what we want it to turn into. If it turns into a back and forth, squire, sword, shootout, I feel like our offense, one of the best in the league, we're going to get it done. I'm confident.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely it's going to be I think the winner is going to be who has the better defense, because both offenses, they're elite, especially. And I think a lot is on Jayden Daniels' shoulders, too. You could say this is arguably one of the more experienced and one of the better defenses that he's faced against. I mean, sure, he's played the Cardinals, he's played the Browns, but the Ravens have proven that they can be a good defense. They shut out Josh Allen just a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be like a task for him, especially as a rookie. But if he can step up and it can be a shootout, it can be a high scoring game. But I also think the Ravens can hang in a shootout. I mean, that Bengals game was insane, the way that it's back and forth, and they ended up, coming out with the win. So it's really just which defense is going to show up that day. That's the biggest factor of who's going to win the game for sure.
So some things I noticed with your defense from prior research that I've done and just watching you guys in a few games, I would say that your defense can stop the run. It's proven that it can stop the run. And that's really one of our strengths on the offensive end. Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, and then as of recent, Jeremy McNichols. If you watch Washington football, a lot of people talk about our team, but they don't watch our team. If you watch our team, our run game is solid. Our run game is dangerous. I promise you, if we get a hot start in the run game, we're probably going to win the game. So you're going to have to stop B-Rob. If you stop B-Rob, you're going to have to stop Austin Eckler, Jeremy McNichols. So that's one thing. But as far as y'all secondary goes, y'all are one of the bottom secondaries in the league along with us. So I'm confident Jaden Daniels, he might be able to carve y'all up. And I'm confident in that because I know y'all have Marlon Humphrey, but also I'm hearing that he might not play this week. I heard he was walking around with a boot. So, like, what's up with his injury?
I don't know. I haven't heard too much about it. This is actually the second time I'm hearing about it. I'm not exactly sure. And our DB room was already, I mean, that would mean Nate Wiggins, he's got to step up, probably on McLaurin if that happens. So he's got to guard one of the best receivers in the league.
I'm taking Terry.
And I mean, yeah, I can't even, argue against that. But we got to see, man. And then I already personally, even if it's personal bias, Brandon Stevens already, if he's got to step up, I don't, you know what I'm saying? If Marlon Humphrey is out, that's definitely a huge factor. But one thing they can't let up, like you said, is the run. If they start letting up the run, Washington's going to take the game because that's the Ravens' pride in their defense is stopping the run. If they can't stop the run, then there's, you know what I'm saying, forget about the pass. So, I mean, if they can stop the run, then hopefully they'll force Washington to pass, and I think that's what they want. So we'll see, though, definitely. Washington's going to try to force the Ravens to pass instead of running because they're going to have to contain Lamar Jackson, contain Derrick Henry. That sounds crazy, or that sounds like a Madden franchise. But at the same time, they're going to – most defenses got a task. They're going to be in the film room. They're going to be studying. They're going to be doing anything they can. Defense – it's a lot on defense this week.
So the reason I'm confident in this game, is because our O-line has been balling out as of recent. And it's really a surprise to me. It's been a surprise to me all season, the way that they've been balling out. I think a part of their success has also been because of the mobility of Jaden Daniels. When you have a mobile quarterback, it does affect the productivity of the O-line because he can get out of there before that sack, transpires. But our O-line's been balling. One of the best units in the league through 5 weeks and then this is going to be week 6 in the NFL. They've been balling, and I feel like they've done well pass blocking, establishing the run. They've all levels. The O-line's been balling. So if our O-line can ball out, we could get the dub. It's really going to come down to establishing the run, O-line, quarterback play, because I feel like this could be a game where both of the defense, like, they're going to play well, but also, like, you're facing two elite offenses, So it's going to be tough. And I feel like you guys, your offensive line has been playing as well as our offensive line. That's going to be a hurdle.
Yeah,
so
the offense is going to have to.
If Jaden Daniels gets a clean pocket where he can just play, it's going to be hot.
Yeah, offensive line, that's something I didn't even get into yet. Our offensive line, you might be like, they're good, they show flashes, but they're definitely shaky. I mean, the amount of times you have to see Lamar, extend the play or whatever, run outside the pocket, run 10 yards back, it's like, it's definitely a shaky unit. But when they play, they can play. And another thing on Washington's side is a really good thing for a rookie QB, forget the weapons he has around him, is a really good offensive line where he can just sit in the pocket and feel comfortable throwing the ball. If we can't get pressure, Jaden Daniels is going to have a field day. And I like Kyle Van Noy. I think he has, 6.5 or 7 sacks on the season right now. and he's been balling out. We have definitely good edge rushers, good D line, interior D lineman, and Michael Pierce. We got Roquan Smith always. So they're gonna have to put pressure on Jaden Daniels. That's definitely a key. If we don't pressure Jaden Daniels, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, y'all got dogs on the defensive end, pass rushers all across the board for sure. Y'all got dogs, stars, future Hall of Famers possibly for sure. So I'm not trying to discredit y'all. I know y'all see my hype vids, y'all see me talking mess. I'm just hyped for Sunday, but I respect the Ravens, of course. But with that being said, I'm not afraid or I'm not worried because y'all's team, y'all defense is elite on paper, but they haven't been playing that way. And also, you got the pass rushers, you got the guys, but we just played Myles Garrett last week, the reigning defensive player of the year. Didn't have a single tackle, didn't have a single sack. He was statless against our O-line. I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, if we could do that versus him, I'm not scared of no D-line, no team. We play the Steelers later this year. We face TJ Watt. I don't see why we can't do that to him too, if they keep it up, obviously. But come Sunday, I feel like the O-line's going to be ready.
Yeah, we'll just have to see Sunday. We just got to see Sunday. I mean, definitely what you're saying. If you can hold Myles Garrett statless, that's one of the best defensive players. That's a future Hall of Famer almost. So, I mean, if you can do that, that's a big feat towards your O-line. And definitely an O-line that's very underrated. Even me, the only person I know on that line is Sam Cosmi. I don't even you know what I'm saying? So they're definitely playing above expectations. But the Ravens they also have, I feel like they're going to be a little more motivated because then again, they also have those first two games that they lost on their record. So now they're kind of still in Ravens are not a team that want to stay at 500. They want to be like a number 1 seed or a number 2 seed kind of team because that's what they really should be. That's what we all expected them to be. So they're definitely going to be a lot more motivated to go in there and play ball just like the past 2 weeks. But again, it's going to be way up to defense. Can the offensive line repeat last week? Can they protect Jaden Daniels? And I think it's overall going to be a quarterback shootout. Both quarterbacks should have at least 2+ touchdowns. So we'll see. It's going to be high scoring for me.
Yeah, I know it's going to be a lot of motivation for the Ravens because I know players, they try not to hear the talk. They hear the talk, though. They hear the talk. I know Lamar hears the talk about Jaden. He's probably like, let me put this young buck in his place. Let me show him that I'm still the best quarterback in the DMV. So it's that, it's a rivalry there. It is. We don't play each other too often. I know the last time we played you guys, I think we had Haskins as our starting quarterback. And, that was when we were still the Washington football team back in those days. But prior to that, Kurt, RG3, they pretty much did well against the Ravens, all the time. But hopefully Jaden Daniels can, continue that and do his thing. But it's going to be tough because I think let's pull this up. Lamar Jackson, the infamous record, 21-3 versus NFC teams. So he pretty much owns the NFC, pretty much. And I think that this game, I'm confident that we could win it just because Lamar Jackson, while he is a 2-time MVP, while he's elite player, top tier quarterback, I feel like he's still beatable. And it's more of those situations where we're coming in as a team that's struggled in years past. People still, despite us being 4-1, people still saying, oh, they're still the same Commanders, yada, yada, yada. Hey, man, we're going to come in, and even if we lose, I'm confident that this is going to be a close game for sure. You got some Ravens fans saying we're going to get blown out. Nah, man. We are a different Washington, and it's time for folks to realize that. And I think they're going to realize it this week if they haven't already.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Washington being I don't know how you can be a Washington fan, dude. I mean, everybody talk about from the preseason predictions, like we're talking about 4-13. You're not going to win 3-4 games. Now they're 4-1, and people still don't want to give them their flowers. Like, I'm going to give them their flowers. They've played way above their expectations. I mean, There's always that one team that's going to play above their expectations. It was the Texans last year, and now it's the Commanders this year. So definitely, there's always tensions, and like you said, when they play in the DMV area, this stadium's only like an hour away. You know what I'm saying? So there's definitely going to be tensions. Emotions are going around high, but I really think that if you can get enough pressures on Jaden Daniels, at the end of the day, you have to expose the fact that he is a rookie. This is going into a sixth game in general as an NFL quarterback. So you have to be able to expose that. If he's comfortable in the pocket, you will lose. But I think you can have him make mistakes if you pressure him enough. And that's what the Ravens are really good at, is quarterback pressure. So just get in the backfield. They love to blitz 6, even 7 sometimes. Blitz what you can, get him uncomfortable. And, if what they're saying, if Jaden Daniels is really like Lamar, then he'll have to, he'll have to scramble out of the pocket and, make some highlights. But I want to force him. I want him to be uncomfortable.
Man, let me just say this, y'all. To talk about the Lamar and Jaden Daniels comparisons, I'm going to be honest, I don't like it at all. I do not like it because to me, it's just like people are just trying to compare two black quarterbacks who rush the ball a lot. They're both dual threats. But if you watch football, and here's the thing, it's one thing to watch a Commanders game, then watch a Ravens game. This game, they're going to be on the field together. They're going to be on the field, in the same game. Not at the same time, obviously, but in the same game. You're going to see the differences. I don't understand why people are trying to compare Lamar, Jaden Daniels. They're not the same player. They're not the same player. If you watch them, they're not the same player. In my personal opinion, I know it's early, but when you talk about passing, you talk about just arm strength, accuracy, deep ball, whatever you want, Jaden Daniels is the better passer. I'm going to say that. Jaden Daniels is early. I would take Jaden Daniels passing over Lamar Jackson's. Lamar Jackson is just the overall better player as far as like dual threat, playmaking. The impact he has on his team is just, it's next level. So I'm not trying to discredit Lamar when I say that, but I just think that to be fair to both of them, that comparison is not realistic.
I mean, I see what you're saying when you say that. I mean, comparing to Lamar, when Lamar first entered the league, I think, or at least in his MVP season in 2019, when he was young, he had a whole bunch of rushing yards. He was a run-first quarterback. Definitely, when you watch Jaden Daniels, he is not as much as a run-first quarterback as Lamar was. It took Lamar a couple of years to like really get into passing and being able to trust his arm. Jaden Daniels throws a beautiful. I'll even compliment him on that. He throws a great deep ball. I've seen a couple of highlights. He's calm in the pocket, and when he throws it, I mean, it's accurate almost. And when I watch Lamar, sometimes, some of his deep passes will be accurate, but he'll miss like 3 to 4 that like would have been touchdowns, but it's like an overthrow. It's mostly overthrows. So, I mean, Lamar's definitely, like you said, he's a better playmaker rolling out of the pocket. I mean, he picked up his own fumble through a touchdown Bengals game. So, but Jaden Daniels, definitely, I would say he's a great passer, and he's not run first. He's getting NFL acclimated really quickly. So, like I said, they're going to have to pressure him and make him do dumb decisions. That's the key.
Yeah, week one was one of those games for Jaden where it's like he's facing an elite defense. That's probably, looking back, week one was probably the most elite defense we've played so far this season, and we lost that game. I would say in that first Buccaneers game, Jaden was running a lot. He was very run first, but as the weeks have progressed, he's turned into more of a run to look down the field. When he's running, he's keeping his eyes down the field instead of just, let me just take off at the first sign of pressure. That throw to Terry McLaurin, you got 2 defenders on your back. He gets away, rolls to his right, throws it downfield. Terry's right there. Should have been a touchdown if he kept his balance, but we were, able to get that great play in. I think that Jaden week one probably would have rolled to his right and try to run for the first instead of keeping his eyes downfield. And so that's all things that he's learning. And as great as he's been, he's still learning.
The Ravens have to be able to definitely outplay the quarterback position. You can't, I think definitely for Lamar, Lamar has already been past the point of trying to prove himself. Lamar has to outplay Jaden Daniels. Like, I just think there's no way that Lamar should not be able to outplay Jaden Daniels. You have to. Lamar, over and over again, has to be able, at this point in his career, has to be able to prove that he can win quarterback battles, especially against like either rookie QBs or more inexperienced guys. He has to be able to win quarterback battles. So it's definitely going to be heavy on Lamar. Even if we talk about the run game or other factors, it's definitely heavy on Lamar. He has to show up and he has to outplay Jaden Daniels if he wants to, you know what I'm saying, if he wants to have a really good shot, because it could turn into a shootout. He's got to be ready for that.
Yeah, like I said, if I'm telling y'all Ravens fans, you heard it here, right now. If this game turns into a shootout, I promise you Washington is going to win. Like, literally, if you watched us versus the Browns last week, we had 2 turnovers on offense. 2 turnovers. Jaden threw an interception. Terry McLaurin fumbled. You're pretty much your 2 best players on offense had mistakes that caused turnovers. And we still managed to win the game by 3 scores. You're talking about a game where you lost the turnover battle and you won by 3 scores. No, you can't make those mistakes against the Ravens. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that our offense is just clicking on all cylinders right now. Last 3 games, we scored 30 plus. And the way the Ravens defense is playing right now, I know they're an elite defense on paper, but we just played the Browns last week. They got a lot of elite players on paper. Paper doesn't matter. It's you got to show me. And I'm saying right here, right now, I don't think the Ravens are going to show us. Stevens, you were talking about Stevens. He's pretty much y'all Emmanuel Forbes. We're going to pick on him all game. Cliff Kingsbury is going to draw it up and pick on him all game. I don't care if it's De'Ami Brown, Terry McLaurin, Luke McCaffrey going to get his. We picking on him. I don't know what to tell you, bro. We picking on him.
Yeah, I mean, especially as an offensive coordinator, you have to see mismatches in that. Brandon Stevens, like Emmanuel Forbes, like you have to see those mismatches, and the mismatches are definitely there. You could even say Roquan as like a zone coverage player. When I watch Roquan, he just kind of sits and he's very stationary sometimes. So, I mean, there's a couple parts, even in like great players like Roquan Smith, there's parts that you can pick on, and I definitely think Cliff is one of the he's one of the better OCs for sure. Like that's also another factor in that Washington offense. They don't have a lot of name guys, but he's been able to, you know what I'm saying, work with what he's got. So definitely
he's been able to do more with less for sure.
Yeah, I just think I think the Ravens defense, I think they're gonna show up personally because I think they're gonna send a lot of pressure on Jaden, and I don't think, I mean, yeah, their line is really good and they have played against Myles Garrett, but I just think the Ravens defense, if they really can, they can definitely shut down the run. They can put pressure on players, and we have to see what Jaden Daniels looks like under pressure, because right now he's just I mean, he's getting all the time in the world, so he's using that to his advantage. You can't let that happen. So if our defense plays our cards right and we have good safety, we can't let up that deep ball. With Kyle Hamilton back there, one of the best young safeties right now, that deep ball, we shouldn't be letting it up. We got Eddie Jackson out of free agency, Marcus Williams. That deep ball should not be being let up. But like you said, that's on paper. They gotta show it. So on Sunday we'll see. I gotta be shown that our safeties can lock up the deep ball and our corners can step up.
Yeah, for sure. But in conclusion, score predictions, man. Score predictions. I'm going to be honest. My pick for this game before the season started, of course I picked the Ravens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the Ravens versus the Commanders. Like, I'm a Commanders fan, and I know what this is. I know what this is. Trust me. Yeah. Anybody that's talking crap, nobody knows this better than Washington fans. We know what this is. But before the season, I'm like, Ravens probably got this. Right now, my team is 4-1. Yeah, we have the second best record in the NFC, right behind Minnesota. So I don't know. I'm hyped right now, and I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna ride out. I got Washington winning this game 33-31. It's going to be a close game for sure.
Yeah, I can see that. But personally, I think I got the Ravens coming out on this one. I just think the Ravens are too much of a. I mean, coming into this year, they're supposed to be a Super Bowl ready team. So with that coming in now, and as we're approaching mid-season, I think they have to be able to shut down this off or the Commanders' offense. So I think score is going to be 38-31 Ravens. Going to be very high scoring back to back, but I think the Ravens might cause a turnover in there or something to create a gap.
I respect it. I respect it. You know, I do think both teams are going to break 30. So I'm going to be honest. I think, hey, take the over. Take the over on that. So it's going to be an interesting game. And please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, as well as follow to the Fourth and Goal Sports Instagram page. Please be sure to comment in the comment section. Who do you think is going to win this game? Who do you think is going to come out with the W? Provide score predictions. But Jauron, I want to thank you for joining me today. For sure, got to do this again. And all the best of luck.
Yeah, we'll see Sunday. We'll see.
Yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Have a productive week. Have a blessed day. Peace.